Good morning, everyone. Jill here. Today I'd like to introduce you to one of my projects for 2026. And this is going to be a profound year-long journey of nature observation for 365 days. And I'm going to do the 365 days divided up into 12 monthly phenology wheels. So each wheel represents 1 month. So it's going to show, for example, some rhythms of January, February, etc. Phenology is a study of nature's timing. So, it's going outside, slowing down, witness some of the intricacies that are happening that maybe we take for granted day after day. So, I'm going to talk about how I create the wheels. I'm going to talk about the materials and setup for creating your own 12-wheel journey. And I invite you to do this with me. So when we go through materials, remember, you can always use what you have. You don't have to use what I'm going to explain in this video, but we all have pencils. Hopefully we have paper. You don't have to use the kind of paper I'm using and things like that. So we're going to be building daily entries for January. It'll be 31 days. And when I make my wheel, I have 32, well, I call these segments 32. So it leaves one for the month name. Now you say, okay, well, what if the month doesn't have 32? What if you don't need 32? I still make 32. And if there's 1 or 2 empty because the month has 30 days or 28 days, I use those for something else, which we'll talk about later. So this project, I'm not a nature journaler, but I really I want to grow my outdoor activity. I want to go out. I've always loved gardening. I love flowers. I don't have a beautiful garden because I've let it go for the past couple of years. I had some, like a lot of people, I had some health issues and I wasn't very active for a while. And now it's time to renew and build my garden. So hang in, because I'm going to go through the materials and starting your wheels, and then we will go from there. Just one moment. So let me get started going through the materials that we're going to need for our phenology wheels. It is Strathmore watercolor paper cold press. If you notice, this is 12 by 18, so 12 inches would accommodate my wheel, and 18 inches was bigger than I needed, but when I looked at it, I thought, no, it's a 12 inch. I'm going to take that. I can always use the remaining parts for something else or some other project, so I wasn't too concerned about that. So that is what I bought for this project, and there's exactly 12 sheets in it. Doesn't allow a lot for mistakes, but we're going to go with that. The other thing I needed was a compass to make the life easier. You don't need a compass. You can use other things to make the circles and make the designs that you want, but this is very easy. You don't have to do math. I did have to figure out, how big to make the circle. I just opened it up, made it, found the center of my page. Let me turn it and I'll show you, found the center of my page, said I want it to be as big as this paper because it's 12 inches, and boom, there I have it. And in future months, other than January, maybe I will make the wheel with you so that you can see how I use the compass to not only create the outside circle, but also these inside circles and all of these segments within the circle. Okay. I'm going to use pencil to draw the original wheel, and then I'm going to use pigment liners to make, let's see if I can get that. Pigment liners, 0.5. No, I'm going to use 0.1. I'm going to use 0.1. 0.5 I felt was too thick. I'm going to use 0.1 to make my labels and my monthly and do any writing that I have. So that will probably include what I write up here. I'm not great at calligraphy or lettering, so I'm going to just do my best at creating letters that look aesthetically pleasing. But that's not the totally important thing on this project. What do I hope to accomplish when I've made a wheel, when I've made the next wheel? What am I going to do with them? Well, I noticed Marion had done, as I said, she was such an influence and an inspiration for me. She made a wonderful book, and you should see the book she made. I think she has a playlist for these. Maybe I will give you the link to the playlist so that you can watch all of hers and how she put the book together. But not only did she do the work and the planning, she provides an inspiration in a way that reflects a philosophy of life and how it has affected her. It was just so good, and I'm hoping to see some of that in my own journey along this path. So what I'm planning to do is, I'm not going to make a book. I was looking at this and I thought to myself, well, what's my 12-month, when I have them all done, what am I going to do with them? This is going to be my book. This is already bound here. It's kind of hard because it's large. You can see the rings. This is already bound. What a great way to make a book when it's already done for you. But I will be doing something with this cover, probably in the form of collage and nature collaging something, and probably something that represents perhaps each month's theme, like I said. That's how I want to handle that. At the end of the year, I will have this entire book with 12 pages of a phonology wheel, some thoughts for the month, and this is extra space for whatever else I want to track or keep track of. And like I said, this month was building a template so that the following months I can look back on this little piece and go, oh yeah, I remember how I did that. I remember how I did that, and so on and so forth. The other thing I've done is I've created, I have some, let me fold this in half. Just 1 minute. I'm going to take it away from the camera. This is inside of the cover. And I created some pockets to put some things. Now they can't be too thick because obviously this binding is not going to hold anything too thick, and that's fine. But what I did have when I created some of the first January wheel was I had some little circle templates, and I used these before I used the compass. Well, actually, I have to be honest, I used the compass to create these templates. And I thought, well, I'm going to try this size, that size, to determine what I wanted for that inner circle and then the segments within that inner circle, until I came up with the part that was going to have a little diagram or a picture on it. And I thought, I want to keep those with this book so I can go back to them if I have to. And I kept this just for other things. Now this page will also somehow be I don't know that I'll wait till the end of the project to do it, but I may. That's all up in the air right now, but I want to finish the inside of this cover just like I want to finish the outside. I want it to be relevant to the contents, and it may have writing, it may be collaging, it may be some other watercolors or whatever, but I did know I wanted those pockets, so I put those on right away. Now I'm going back to the page, just 1 minute. Okay. So here we are for January. The other thing you're going to need, so we've got paper. I had my pigment liners. I have compass. You'll probably want a pencil. I use mechanical pencils architect drawing pencils, and I'm probably yelling in your ear because I moved up on the microphone, but I use mechanical pencils. But you can use just plain, I think this is a, what is this? What do you want? Oh, it's a zebra. This is just a simple zebra brand pencil. So it doesn't matter what you use for that. The other thing you're going to need are some paintbrushes, watercolor paintbrushes. And I have those in the other room. Why do I have them in the other room? Because I had thought with the daily project that I'm going to be doing watercolor, I should set up a little space for this project that I can complete my little watercolor diagrams or images and not have to put all of my tools and supplies away every time I sit down. This desk that I film from is my crafting desk, and I do all my crafting from here. I have 5 what I call major projects this year, and I did not want to have to clean up this particular project every time. And since I knew I was going to work on it every day, I moved some of the supplies into the other room and have set up a small little area where I can sit down. I will go outside, I will take my pictures, I will come in and transfer the picture. The picture follows my monthly theme, and then I will put my pictures in here and hopefully see how the month evolves. Okay, so the other thing you're going to need then is watercolors. Now, I should get my watercolors. Let me just pause you one moment and I'll get them. Okay, so I'm talking about the watercolor. Now, I am a very new beginner at watercolors, so I researched what were good pigments to purchase for a beginner, and I ended up getting these Winsor Newton small pack of pigments, watercolors. It does come with a little watercolor brush, and the reason I like this little pack is it's easy to take with you if you go outside and want to do some of your creative processes, part of your watercolor outdoors while you're in your nature environment. These are real easy to put into your bag and pull out and sit down. Since this holds water, you can see it holds water. You can you don't have to carry like a little container of water with you to use those. So I'm going to start out with those. So that would be another thing. Now, in addition, let me show you. I only I had to buy the brushes. I also bought Winsor Newton brushes. This is a 19 millimeter or 3/4 inch for doing washes and such. I hope that works out. And this one here is a number 8 round. It's also a Winsor. Come on. Winsor Newton number 8. And this one is a long round number 8. But notice the point on the end of this brush. So I bought that one as well. So I only bought 3 to start with. I don't really have a tiny detail brush, and I'm maybe sorry about that because of the size of these segments that we're going to be using. But as the project goes on, I'll determine that and make the appropriate changes there. What else am I going to use? I may decide to use some of these Arteza water-based ink. Oops, big glare. Just 1 minute. Let's see if I can get rid of that. Oh boy. Okay, over here. These are 48 water-based ink. They are blendable. They come, and the reason I thought I might use these is this pack is a fine tip, 0.4 millimeters. It has a brush tip, and I thought for some of the finer areas that I might want to use those. Now, I've used these for other projects, so I did not buy these for this project. This was something I had in my craft room, and I intend to use it for if I find the need for this project as well. Okay. So that's, I think those are, I think I have one more pack of colors I might use, because I thought, you know, I have somewhat of an acrylic background, but I thought I might use these fine liner color pens. They are 4mm. There's 24 colors, and these are brights. I'm not sure. They're for daily writing. I may use them for the writing segment. I may use them for the labeling. I may use them for little things here and there within the pages. But I have them sitting with the project supplies so that they're available to me to use as needed. So there you have that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've forgotten. Do you think, did I forget anything? Call out if I forgot something. Of course, I'm using my phone to take the pictures, so I do have a phone. And I also record from my phone. So I had that. I didn't purchase that. So I purchased the paper, a couple brushes, a compass, and my Winsor Newton small watercolors. And I think that is it. That is it for now. So that's my opening video for my phenology wheel. And I hope that this project called The Soul of the Seasons will inspire you to come along with me on this journey, and let's do it together. Share with me what you think, what you might try to do. Oh, something I didn't tell you is, okay, let me think if I'm going to share it now or when we start my January one. By the time I post this for you to view, which it's going to be posted on Mondays. Let me be sure about that. Mondays. So when I post it on Mondays, what will happen is you will see all of the days from Monday till Monday. Well, Sunday to Monday. And then I'll post a video. So we'll go through what I observed and what I documented for that week. And then the next Monday, the following week, and the following week, and so on. So I won't be doing a lot of, for each video, I won't be doing a lot of on-screen drawing or watercoloring. I don't know yet. We'll play that by ear. But I wanted to review how it's going along at intervals that are meaningful to myself and to you as we move along, so we can discuss what do we want to change, how can I make this better, all those kind of things. And I do not have a Facebook, so I'm going to be dependent on the comments down below this video to help me decide, you know, what options are being suggested out there, which I love. So I hope that you'll participate and do that as well. So now, before I close, let me tell you my theme for January is shadows, the shadows of January. And it's an interesting theme. A lot of people pick snow or ice or things like that. And I will tell you right now, because I have done my pictures, today that I'm recording this is the 4th. So starting on the 1st, I have been out taking my pictures for 4 days. And I can tell you that some days there's no shadow. How did that happen? Because there's no sun at 10 a.m. where I live some days. So when I go out to take my photo, it might be of a different spot as I look around to take the picture, but there's no shadow. But I will tell you that within the last 4 days, there was one day that was beautifully sunny at 10 a.m. and I took a wonderful picture of a shadow. And I want to see how those shadows change through the month. one other thing I could have done, which I chose not to do, is to take the same shadow picture from the same spot every day. And that way I could see if the shadow grew longer or shorter or more distinct and those kind of things throughout the month of January. But I thought that was a little too much for me at this point. And so I couldn't guarantee I would get back into the same spot to take those images and then come in and draw them here. So that's not going to happen. But my theme for January is shadows. I hope you'll come back and see how it goes along. And if you have any questions, post them down below. Please remember to go out and see Marion's wonderful video on her phonology wheel. She's into her, I think she's done 2 years. I think she just finished 2025 and she's moving into her 2026 year. And it's just amazing what she's accomplished. So I'm so happy to have found her channel. So I'll put that down in the description box below. So gather your supplies, come back on Monday, and let's see where we're all at. And until then, do something you love, have a great day, and until the next time.